Hello friends, I'm your friend, Grateful, signing on, and I'm going to give you the review of Redmi Note 4, which have recently launched. And one more thing, like and subscribe to know more about the gadgets.
Xiaomi's Redmi Note lineup has been very popular both in China and internationally. The Redmi Note 3 is the latest model and it sparks great specs, fantastic build quality, and it costs less than $160. The phone ships in the Xiaomi style box. Inside of it you can find a charger, some paperwork, SIM ejector pin, and USB cable. The front of the phone looks just like previous Note series devices. We have a sharp and bright 5.5 inches 1080p display, nicely backlit capacitive buttons, and a highly customizable knob. We have the IR blaster to control devices like TVs. Xiaomi decided to stick with a micro USB port on this phone. As for loudspeaker, I would say it is pretty good as on most of the Xiaomi phones. However, there is a little bit of distortion going on at the very highest volume settings. The sound quality via the headset jack is pretty good too. I have a standard edition of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4, which sports a deca-core MediaTek Helio X20 chip with a maximum clock speeds of 2.1 GHz, 2 GB of RAM, and 16 GB of storage, which is also expandable via the microSD card slot. If you are willing to pay extra, you can get a 64 GB model with 3 GB of RAM. The gaming performance is great, and the phone performs even better than the Redmi Pro despite having the same chip. Games like Asphalt 8 run fine on the highest graphics with just a few skipped frames, but that didn't bother me at all. A great thing is that the phone does not have any overheating issues. When it comes to the user interface, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 ships with a MIUI 8, which uses Android 6.0 as a foundation. The MIUI looks similar to the older version, but it also has some new design touches. For example, we have a redesigned quick settings and reorganized full settings menus. Now it is easier to find everything and the menu just looks cleaner. As usual, there are plenty of customization options Xiaomi phones have been famous for. Just to name a few, you can adjust the display settings, choose from a variety of themes, and so on. One of the key features is called Second Space. In each space you can have your different accounts, apps, and so on, and you can easily switch from one space to another. So far the phone has been working fine and I didn't have any lag or any hiccups. We have a familiar camera app that allows you to take pictures very fast and play with some basic shooting modes and settings. The 13 megapixels camera produces images that are comparable to the Redmi Note 3's camera, but I think we need to see a software update to make the best out of the camera sensor. For a $160 phone, the pictures look quite nice and there is a good amount of detail in most of the daylight shots. However, there were a few pictures with softer focus and inaccurate looking colors, especially if you take pictures indoors. When it comes to the low-light photography, the Redmi Note 4 is a pretty good performer. Sure, you can't expect much from a $160 phone, but the images are one of the best in class. Currently I'm shooting with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4. I'm shooting at Full HD with the continuous autofocus feature on. And this is handheld footage. As always, I'm trying to hold the phone as steady as possible. The video quality is pretty good, but it could definitely have more detail and look sharp. I could use the phone for 2 days easily, even with some heavy usage, and I use the phone with the performance mode turned on all the time. That translates to over 5 hours of screen on time. If you are a lighter user, you can easily achieve over 6 or 7 hours of SOT. Although the Redmi Note 4 uses a MediaTek Pump Express 2.0 technology for fast charging, the Xiaomi does not include the fast charger in the box. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 is yet another budget offering by the Chinese giant, and I have to say that it is a great phone for the price of $160. The device sports a very good build quality and it uses metal in its construction. Also, we have one of the best-in-class display, feature-rich user interface, and the phone can handle 3D games quite well. Finally, the battery life is fantastic. Even though I just got over 5 hours of screen on time, I've seen some moderate users achieve over 7 hours of SOT. On the other hand, the back camera does not seem to have been upgraded. In fact, the current software build leads to a slightly worse performance than the Redmi Note 3, but knowing the Xiaomi, it will be definitely fixed with a software update. Alright, so the question is, should you upgrade if you have the Redmi Note 3? I would say no, since this phone is just an incremental upgrade. However, if you are in the market of a solid budget-friendly phone, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4 should be definitely on your list, as it is an easy buying recommendation.